It is widely known that most of us cannot survive for more than 3 minutes without oxygen because it is a necessity. Knowing this, it may come as a surprise to you to find out that humans are the one destroying one of the biggest producers of oxygen in the world. The world's forests are often named the lungs of the earth. 20% of the world's oxygen is produced by the Amazon rainforest alone. We, humans, are destroying our forests, woodlands, and jungles, and this process is called deforestation.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mio Amsha Najmi and I will talk about the issue of deforestation in Malaysia. Malaysia is also not spared from this issue. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, deforestation can be defined as the cutting down of trees in a large area or the destruction of forests by people. It is also referring as the decrease in forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses, namely agricultural, croplands, urbanization, or mining activities. This activity has its negative impact towards natural ecosystem, biodiversity, and the climate. For instance, the issue of tasik chini. Recently, Malaysia has been shaken once again about the tasik chini incident. The incident erupted again due to reports that the state government has approved new mining activities about 3 kilometers from tasik chini. According to the New Straits Times, such approval has raised many questions about efforts to rehabilitate tasik chini, especially since the lake was gazetted as a permanent forest reserve 2 years ago. This an unpleasant situation in Pahang is against the government promise not to approve any more projects around the tasik chini in order to revive the lake to an ecotourism site. This situation caused a major impact on environmental sustainability. Furthermore, this lake has its own identity or status as one of UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. This shows how important is tasik chini to be preserved well. The deforestation is an unfortunate event of the poor tasik chini. Puan Sri Sharifah Sabrina Said Akil, the President of Malaysian Natural Heritage Protection Organisation or PECA, urged the state government to cancel the approval as it will not bring any benefit towards the government and its people, as it causes mud flood and chemical pollution due to these activities. Now, I will hand over the presentation to my other team members.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amir Shafiq Basharul Nizal. I'll be presenting on the rules of government, municipal, and community. So the first point will be the rules of the government. So there are two, which is the National Forestry Act of 1984. So basically this policy is designed to promote uniformity of the forestry laws of the states of Malaysia. It addresses issues related to forestry administration, management and conservation, plus forest development. So basically it gives Malaysian states the authority to appoint officers responsible for designing forest management and restoration plan, handling annual forest development reports and managing an annual budget. And next is the National Forest Policy of 1977. So basically this primary objective of the policy is to identify the permanent forest estate strategically located throughout the country in accordance with national and sustainable land use. The PFE will be managed and classified under four major functions. The first one is production forest, second is protection forest, third is amenity forest, and lastly is the research and education forest. Okay, the second roles of the municipal would be the municipal government should implementing the various enforcement activities in order to eradicate this illegal encroachment and illegal logging. So this can be further seen by monitoring the forest cover through the use of remote sensing plus 5 supported by the drone itself, hyperspectral sensor, geographical information system, and global positioning system. And the last rule would be the community side, and basically the community has a vital role in helping to restore and preserve the environment by pushing for better policies to address illegal logging and pollution. And besides ensuring the environmental protection is made an important part of education for the younger generation. And next, in order to achieve this, the public should choose elected representative with sound understanding and good intention of protecting the natural environment and green agendas. And lastly would be there must be a concerted effort to stop all or any damaging practices such as unethical logging, land reclamation, and mining, and start to replant, recover, and restore our natural environment immediately. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Dinal Ikmal, and I will share about the finding that I found regarding to this issue. For your information, this finding is based on my personal research for this assignment. Firstly, we will focus on the fact of deforestation issue in Pahang. Pahang is one of the states that facing the flooding problem almost every year. As we can see in this website, the causes of extreme flooding that happen in Pahang is due to logging activity. This can be seen through the pattern of severe rising water. As we all know, the function of forest is to help in mitigate the flood, landslide, and even the pollution. But with the major deforestation activity, the effect has been common issue, and this will occur the environmental disasters such as loss of ecosystem and impact toward the native wildlife. Okay, next we will move on to the statistic in Pahang. As we can see here, in 2010, Pahang had 2.01 million hectare of natural forest, which is over 89% of its land area. But in 2020, it already lost 22.0 kHa of natural loss, which is been released more than 16.2 million ton of carbon dioxide of emission. KHA is stand for 1000 hectare, while for MHA is stand for million hectare. Next is the data about the preliminary forest loss in Pahang. For almost 20 years, Pahang had lost 351,000 hectares of humid primary forest, which is decreased by 19%. And next is a tree cover loss in Pahang for almost 20 years. Pahang lost 1.15 million hectares of tree cover, which is equivalent to 35% decrease since 2000, and it released more than 568 million tons of carbon dioxide emission. And lastly, the most important part is here, the deforestation alert. There were total 23,389 GLAD alert report in the week of 7 June. This was normal if they want to compare the same week in the previous year. The GLAD alert report is use the satellite imagery to collect the weekly data on deforestation across the tropic. So for the next part, we will look into the rules and regulation. Next is about the law and regulation. As we all know, there are two areas in Malaysia, which are Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. Peninsular Malaysia consists by 11 states, while for East Malaysia consists by two large states, which is Sabah and Sarawak. According to Federal Constitution of Malaysia, all Malaysian states have their own jurisdiction over their land and so on, that can be seen in here. Even though each state have their own power to create their own forestry rules, there are two key forest policy in Malaysia that need to be followed, which are the National Forestry Act and the National Forest Policy. These policies are designed to ensure that forest management area should be protected from the illegal harvesting, unauthorized settlement, and other unpermitted activities. In Sabah and Sarawak, they are using the different type of law, but the aim is still the same. In Sabah, they are using the state forest policy and the forest enactment policy, while for Sarawak, they are using the statement forest policy and the forest ordinance. That's all for me. Thank you.
My name is Ahmad Hazi Aiman bin Hishamuddin. There are several challenges and barriers of deforestation. The first is governance barrier. Malaysia's decentralized system means that the majority of policies to address deforestation and land degradation are initiated and developed at the national level, but implemented at the provincial, district, and village levels. Under Malaysia's constitution, forest management falls largely under the state, not the federal control. This has led to economic interests being prioritized over the environment and rights of indigenous people. The states have the power to give permits for logging and other forest activities, whereas federal government is limited to making policy and monitoring. As an example, the case of deforestation and mining around Tasik Chini explore the impact of environmental damage caused by commercial exploitation in the name of development, which have been allowed by the Pahang government. Extensive decentralization of authority over forest and land use has led to an increase in the number of jurisdiction and district splits, further compounding administrative responsibility structure. The second barrier is economic barrier. The demand for agriculture is consistently associated with more deforestation. Higher agricultural commodity prices and greater potential agricultural revenue in Malaysia, particularly from exports, has been associated with higher deforestation. Consumer demands for logs and for palm oil, particularly from food producers and the biodiesel industry, have resulted in more forests being logged and or cleared to establish new palm plantations, leading also to the increasing commodification of nature and natural resources. In the case of Tasik Chini, big business has entered the area by invitation of the state, which controls the land and the traditional forest areas. Unlicensed native lands have been given for oil palm plantation, mining for iron ore, and for logging. The third barrier is the land rights and reform barriers. Insecure land tenure is a widely known barrier to addressing deforestation and land degradation. Disputes over land rights and the slow recognition of community land are a long-standing problem in Malaysia with significant impacts on the sustainable management of forest resources. This problem is commonly faced by the Orang Asli communities. Their ancestral lands and forests have been continuously enriched by the direct and underlying agents of deforestation, often without communities' free, prior and informed consent, resulting in FPIC violations, loss of forests, land rights and rights abuse. The cultural demise of the Orang Asli communities in Tasik Chini is gradually worsening due to the hegemonistic, unquestioned policies and powers which are systematically robbing the people's bank by reducing and commercially exploiting traditional, if unrecognized, native lands.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farizul Rizal bin Azur Rahman. As explained by my friends regarding on the issue, the roles of government, the findings and also the causes and effect and also the barriers for deforestation in Malaysia, I'll be presenting on the solution on how to overcome or prevent deforestation in Malaysia. There are actually several things that we can do in order to stop or prevent further destruction of our forests in Malaysia. The first solution is to vote for a green government or support local MPs that demonstrate a keen passion towards environmental protection. For example, our former Ministry of Energy, Science and Technology and Climate Change, YBOBIN, are named one of the 7 people who stood up for the planet. It shows that if we support local MPs that demonstrate a keen passion to environmental protection, therefore he or she will stood up or take an action against any environmental problems in Malaysia, including deforestation. The second solution is to install Ecosia as our primary search engine in Malaysia. Ecosia is considered as a social business that is based in Germany that supports over 20 tree plantings projects in 15 different countries, including our neighboring country, Indonesia. If we install Ecosia as our primary search engine, we help to reforestation that places has been affected due to deforestation in Malaysia. Last but not least, our third solution is to develop an agroforestry. Agroforestry is a land use management system in which trees and shrubs are grown around or among crops or pasture land. It combines shrubs and trees in agricultural and forestry technologies to create more diverse, productive, profitable, healthy, and sustainable land use system. Through agroforestry, it is the tension between increased food production and environmental problem. Thank you for watching this video. We hope that you like this video, and please share to your family and friends in order to spread awareness regarding environmental problems in Malaysia. Peace out.